Happy Monday! Good to see everybody this morning. It is the 25th of January. I hope you're doing really well. Going to bring you a leadership lesson today and just get you excited and kicked off for the week. So thanks for dialing in for the next few moments. Hey, I want to go through just a couple of reminders and updates, some things that I want all of you guys to be aware of. We are holding the Scholar Dollar store this week. All of our scholars had an opportunity to purchase raffle tickets for gift cards, and we're going to put all those raffle tickets into a big hopper, and we're going to pull them out. We're going to give away some gift cards this week, so be on the lookout for that. We'll release that Friday morning. You'll have a chance to review that. Also, Blazer recognitions are occurring this week. The second quarter recognition assembly will be released Wednesday morning. And so scholars will get to hear names called for honor roll and all kinds of great recognitions, including those that have earned Blazers during the second quarter. And I want to encourage all of our scholars to come to our next pickup event. We have a drive-through pickup event next Monday. That's February the 1st. We're going to start about 4:30 in the afternoon and be out there until about 7 o'clock. But we've got a gift for every single scholar to pick up. You can also pick up your report card. And those of you that earn Blazers, you can come pick up your Blazer and have your picture taken in front of our presentation boards. So I look forward to seeing all of you hopefully next Monday evening. Hey, also, we got a shift going on this week. Our instructional schedule is shifting a little bit. All scholars have been reporting to remote classes Monday through Thursday, and Fridays have been office hours. That is shifting this week, and we're going Monday through Friday with our remote schedule. So all of our scholars that are still participating remotely, be sure you're in class on Fridays. I'm sure your teachers have been talking to you about that. Also, 8th graders, your schedule is going to shift a little bit this week, and I think your teachers have communicated with you. So please keep that in mind. Last but not least, our 8th grade scholars, don't forget, the magnet window is currently open for you. That means an opportunity for you to virtually check out all the high school options that are available for you, and you can choose which schools you would like to apply to. You have a couple more weeks. There's no major rush, but just be sure that you are aware. All right, guys. So to start off this school year, we've been talking about finding the superhero within, and I did my best to try to teach you about a lot of superheroes. You know, Batman and Spider-Man, the Hulk and Wonder Woman, and Black Panther. I've tried to use every superhero character that I could come up with. And last week, I shifted a little bit, and I told you I was going to start using some American superheroes, some individuals in American culture that I just believe we can really learn a great deal from. And hopefully you had an opportunity last week to learn from Caitlin Ohashi. She was one of our American gymnasts. She got a perfect 10 on a floor routine, and she just had a tremendous amount of joy. And she's certainly someone worth learning from. This week, I've entitled this week's lesson, Stay Focused, and I'm going to use another American hero. It is not the one that you see on the screen, but he is part of the story. So if you'll give me for just a few moments, I want to just tell a little story to you and let you be introduced to an American hero. So most of you guys have heard the name Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth played professional baseball for 22 years. He was a pitcher, a left-handed pitcher, and also a hitter. He started with the Boston Red Sox, but was later traded to the New York Yankees. And when he was traded to the Yankees, the Boston Red Sox went 86 years without ever winning a World Series. And it was called the Curse of the Great Bambino. That was one of his nicknames. He was also nicknamed the Sultan of SWAT. He was a pretty well-known baseball player, very famous. American culture loved him. And when he retired, he had hit 714 home runs in his career. And that was a record, and an amazing record to think about 714 times being able to drive a ball like this out of the park. Well, he is not the American hero, but he is part of the story because he had a record that a lot of Americans believed should never be broken, right? It was Babe's record. He's always going to hold that record. But there was a young man who had a very different dream. So I've called this lesson Stay Focused. And I want you to let me tell you the story about this individual staying focused on the goal and the dream of breaking that home run record. See, Hammerin Aaron was born in Mobile, Alabama, way back in 1934. His family was poor. They didn't have much. His mom and dad both worked, but it was just very difficult conditions. And so he didn't even have enough money to buy a baseball or a baseball bat. So he and his brothers, he was one of 7 children, they would practice by using sticks and trying to hit bottle caps. And he later went by the name of Hank, and one of his individuals that he admired greatly, one of his superheroes, if you will, was Jackie Robinson, who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. So Hank enjoyed playing baseball. He was very skillful. He could play the outfield very well. He played third base some. He really, throughout high school, just excelled, and he got signed to a contract to play in something called the Negro American League. And he did so well in that league. He only played there for 3 months. And then he had 2 contract offers from Major League Baseball. The Giants, now San Francisco, back then it was New York, and the Braves. Now, the Braves are now in Atlanta, but they used to be in Boston, and then they were in Milwaukee. So he had an opportunity to choose one of 2 contracts to play Major League Baseball. And he said that the Braves contract offered him $50 more a month. So he took it. And that's a really cool story, because had he gone to the Giants, he would have been playing with Willie Mays. Instead, he signs with the Braves. He explodes onto the scene. He gets his own nickname. They start calling him Hammerin Hank, or just the Hammer, because of how well he could hit the ball. And he just became immediately somebody that the crowd absolutely loved. And he played for 23 seasons, mostly with the Braves. Later, he's going to end his career back in Milwaukee. But he racked up all kinds of records. Lifetime, .305 batting average, has the most RBIs of all time. He was selected to the All-Star team over 23 times. He was inducted to the Hall of Fame. He won Gold Gloves. He was just an amazing baseball player. But his biggest accomplishment was also his most challenging. Now, remember, I told you about Babe Ruth, and I told you that Babe's record had stood for 50 years. Well, in 1974, in front of his Atlanta Braves home fans, he's going to hit home run number 715, breaking the great Bambino's record. But there's a lot more to that story. You see, in 1973, 1 year before he broke the record, he ended the year with 713 home runs. Now, Babe's record was 714. So he's at the kind of near the end of his career. The last game, his last home run is number 713. And over the course of the offseason, he starts to get all kinds of hate mail, all kinds of threats. He has to hire a security team. He has to take his family and put them in hiding, because people did not want to see him break the Bambino's record for a variety of reasons. But one of them was just simply because of the color of his skin. So he had to endure all kinds of challenges and strife. And when he was interviewed at the end of that 73 season, he said his greatest fear is not living to see the 1974 season. He actually thought that he might get killed because he did receive multiple death threats. This is him raising his hand after he breaks the record. And few people actually know the gentleman to his left on the right-hand side of the screen, that's his bodyguard. His bodyguard went with him everywhere. And so when he broke that record and he came across home plate, that bodyguard was there. He used to carry a binoculars case. It looks like a little man satchel, but inside there was not a pair of binoculars. It was a gun. And he was hired to keep Hank safe because of all the strife and all the hatred and all the ugly things that people were saying they were going to do if he broke Babe Ruth's record. Well, look, there's some cool moments in American history, and this is one of them. And I want you to watch this film with me. It's about 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, and I want you to watch and to listen and to take in this moment in American history when Hank Aaron breaks Babe Ruth's record.
Once again, a standing ovation for Henry Aaron. So the confrontation for the second time. Aaron walked in the second inning. He means the tying run at the plate now. So we'll see what Downing does. Al at the belt delivers, and he's low.
This is the beginning of the season. They've played one series in Cincinnati where he hit the tying home run. So he hit 714 in Cincinnati. This is his first game back in Atlanta for the 74 season.
Ball and no strike. Aaron waiting. The outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone.
See those guys running the bases with him? We'll talk about them in just a minute.
What a marvelous moment for baseball. What a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia.
That's his mom and his dad.
For the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol. And it is a great moment for all of us, and particularly for Henry Aaron, who was met at home plate not only by every member of
See his bodyguard there on his left, or on his right?
He threw his arms around his father, and as he left the home plate area, his mother came running across the grass, threw her arms around his neck, kissed him for all she was worth. As Aaron circled the bases, the Dodgers on the infield shook his hand, and that was a memorable moment. Aaron is being mobbed by photographers, is holding his right hand high in the air, and for the first time in a long time, that poker face of Aaron shows the tremendous strain and relief of what it must have been like to live with for the past several months. It is over. At 10 minutes after 9 in Atlanta, Georgia, Henry Aaron has eclipsed the mark set by Babe Ruth.
It's a really cool moment in American history. So as you saw, when he rounded second base, two college kids, we'll call them, they're probably in their early 20s, they come sprinting out of the stands towards him. And his bodyguard said at that moment he thought he was going to have to shoot those two, because he thought that perhaps those two individuals were going to cause some kind of harm to Hank. But instead, they were there to celebrate with him. They were there to show signs of support. Look at the smiles on their faces. Look at the way that they were just running and patting him. And Hank said earlier or later on after this event, he said he didn't know. They kind of scared him when they showed up. Think about it. He's trotting around the bases and these guys show up. But it's just an example of how much people embraced him and what an awesome American hero that Hank Aaron was. I encourage you to stay focused just the same way that Hank Aaron stayed focused on his goal of breaking Babe Ruth's record. He never played again in Atlanta. That was his last game. His contract expired. He asked to be traded back to Milwaukee. He played a couple of years there. He ended up hitting about another 40 home runs before he retired. But later on in life, he went back to Atlanta and worked in baseball operations. But he was a major voice for civil rights issues in America as well. And again, an American hero. We lost Hammerin Hank last Friday at the age of 86 years old. I love his quote. He says, "My motto was always just to keep swinging. Whether I was in a slump or feeling bad or having trouble off the field, the only thing to do was to keep swinging." And that's a good motto in life, man. Sometimes people say keep digging. Whatever it is, man, you just got to stay focused on your goals and keep going. He could have easily said, "I'm not going to play baseball anymore. I don't want to pursue that record. It's not worth the safety of my family." But Hank Aaron was a great example of staying focused on your goals. So we honor him today, and just note that he lived a great life and has left a tremendous legacy, not only in baseball, but in American history. Hammerin Hank. All right, guys, let's take a look and see how we did last week. It was the first week of the second semester. It was a short week, just 3 days of instruction, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We did see some points were earned. Okay, Sabio, I see you. Sabio House coming in first place. Pretty tight between Hegemon and Dynamis for second. Looks like Nike is on the board also, so congratulations to them. Hey, guys, part of our Leader's Creed talks about being disciplined and being focused. I hope you'll take a moment to review that, and I hope you have a fantastic week. Take care.